panoramic display arc floating above a full-width real wood dashboard does not belong in a heavy-duty pickup truck, and yet, here it is, on a Sierra 3500 that just made Ram's entire interior argument look overdue for a serious rethink. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why GMC's interior architecture decision on this truck put Ram's product team in a position that won't be easy to answer in their current model cycle. There's one design decision in this Sierra's cabin that Ram's team reportedly reviewed and chose not to match. I'll tell you exactly what that decision was and why it matters to anyone making a real buying decision. And is the Sierra 3500 Denali Ultimate actually worth crossing over from a Ram 3500 Limited Longhorn? My answer requires walking through the ownership math, and it's more specific than you're expecting. We're covering the cabin, the exterior, and the powertrain. And the origin of this interior brief, that didn't come from a styling team. It came from dealer data. And what that data showed changes how you read every material decision visible in these images. Here's what stands out as the most significant decision, and it's not the diamond quilted leather, and it's not the real wood. It's the dual screen architecture, a panoramic widescreen at the driver position and a secondary tilting screen on the center console. Two surfaces, two separate interaction zones. The engineering reasoning: a driver managing a loaded gooseneck trailer at 65 miles per hour should not be reaching toward a single center screen to adjust trailer brake gain or check tongue weight readouts. The console screen puts trailer management at the co-driver's reach or close enough to the driver's resting hand position that eyes off road time is minimized. My opinion? This is the most functionally justified two-screen layout in any American full-size truck because it solves a real operational problem rather than adding screen area for marketing purposes. Speculative tech number 1, real-time trailer load distribution. Hitch-mounted tongue weight and lateral load sensors communicate with the console screen to display live trailer axle load balance. Before the driver leaves the driveway, the system shows whether the trailer is rear-heavy, side-heavy, or properly centered. The correction you used to discover at 70 miles per hour is now visible at 5 miles per hour. The screen architecture is the foundation. The materials surrounding it are where this cabin has to justify the price. And they make a thorough case. Walk inside and the first calibration isn't the display, it's the wood. The real wood trim running full width across this dashboard isn't a strip accent, it's a structural panel covering the entire passenger side dash surface and continuing across the center stack. The engineering relevance? A continuous wood panel versus isolated inserts eliminates seam lines where different materials meet different thermal expansion rates. Those seams telegraph over time as adhesives and substrates respond to temperature cycles differently. A single continuous panel ages predictably. After 5 years in a working truck that sees real climate variation, experienced buyers notice the difference. The diamond quilted leather on the front seats is the standout material decision in these images. What stands out to me is the scale of the quilting pattern. Large diamond cells require more leather per seat than tight micro-quilting, because the leather must bridge each cell without puckering under tension. That's a yield decision that adds real cost per unit, and GMC is absorbing it at volume. That signals a serious commitment to the specification. Speculative tech number 2, adaptive seat pressure mapping. Micro air bladders embedded within each quilt segment independently inflate based on pressure sensors in the seat cushion. Conventional lumbar systems manage 5 zones. This system manages 20+ independent pressure points, distributing driver weight evenly across long towing runs. For anyone doing a 400-mile fifth wheel haul, the difference in fatigue levels by hour 3 is measurable, not theoretical. Where I think they've left a question open, the blue LED accent lighting on the steering wheel sits between luxury and performance identity in a way that reads differently depending on the buyer. For a truck positioned as the definitive working luxury HD, that's a detail worth resolving with more conviction in one direction. Cabin delivers on the interior brief, but understanding why GMC built it this way and where that brief originated is what makes the exterior and powertrain sections hit differently. Here's the piece I can share now. The Denali Ultimate interior brief for the 3500 reportedly originated from a 2024 dealer network survey. Specifically, the finding that Ram 3500 Limited buyers were not meaningfully cross-shopping Sierra HD, and the primary reason given was the Sierra's interior. GMC's response was not a cosmetic upgrade. They started from the wood trim substrate and worked outward. The dual screen layout was in the original brief. That context changes how you read every proportion decision on the exterior. and the powertrain numbers are going to make the dealer survey story considerably more relevant. Start at the front. The GMC grille carries proportions sized for thermal management requirements of a diesel under sustained tow load, not scaled for visual impact alone. The LED headlight signature is positioned high on the front fascia, high enough to clear most trailer tongue geometry without shadowing the approach path. The hood blackout treatment reduces glare reflection into the windshield when the sun is directly forward, a driving conditions decision, not a contrast styling exercise. At the rear, the bronze-toned bumper surround and tailgate trim carry through the wheel and mirror cap color story across the full exterior. This is a coherent specification, not individual upgrades from an accessory catalog. Overall length in crew cab long box configuration runs approximately 250 inches on a 158-inch wheelbase. Ground clearance sits approximately 9.2 inches. Design verdict. This exterior holds because every functional element, grille sizing, headlight height, bumper geometry, is calibrated for what this truck is going to do. That coherence separates a truck that looks capable from one that is, but the exterior only sets the context. The powertrain determines whether that capability is real. The 6.7-liter Duramax L5P diesel in Denali Ultimate specification produces 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque through the 10-speed Allison. Context: the Ram 3500's 6.7-liter Cummins at maximum output produces 420 horsepower and 1,075 pound-feet. The Duramax leads on power, the Cummins leads on peak torque. The buyer pulling 35,000 pounds on a fifth wheel will feel the Duramax's broader mid-range power band on grades. The Cummins' torque advantage appears at very low RPM from a standing start under maximum load. Speculative tech number 3, predictive grade brake management. GPS topography integration reads mapped grades up to 15 seconds ahead and pre-stages the exhaust brake and transmission downshift sequence before the descent becomes significant. Standard grade braking reacts. This system prepares. For anyone who has managed a fully loaded fifth wheel on a long mountain descent, that 15-second preparation window changes the character of the entire run. Against the Ford F3500 Limited, comparable interior ambition, but Ford's wood treatment and quilted seat execution don't match this specification at equivalent pricing. The engineering picture is complete. The financial picture needs to stand next to it now. Now, here's what I actually think, and I'm going to be completely straightforward with you. That design decision Ram's team reportedly chose not to match, it's the full-width continuous wood panel across the passenger dashboard. Not because it's prohibitively expensive to produce, it is costly, but because it commits the entire interior to a single language material that everything else must then justify. Ram's interior team didn't want to make that commitment on the current platform. GMC made it without apparent hesitation. That tells you exactly where each brand's confidence sits in the HD luxury segment right now. Pricing for the Sierra 3500 Denali Ultimate in this specification lands between $92,000 and $108,000 depending on configuration, above a Ram 3500 Limited at approximately $88,000, and comparable to a fully optioned Ram 3500 Limited Longhorn at $98,000 to $112,000. For what a base Longhorn costs, you're getting a more coherent interior material story, the dual-screen operational layout, and a platform that has shown stronger injector replacement cost metrics than the 6.7 Cummins outside factory warranty. On depreciation, Denali trim Sierra HD trucks have held residual value within 3 to 5% of comparable Ram Limited trims over 5-year windows in the used market. On maintenance, Duramax service intervals are comparable to the Cummins, but the L5P has historically carried lower out-of-warranty repair costs on fuel system components. Here's the call. If you tow regularly above 20,000 pounds, if a co-driver is managing trailer functions alongside you, and if the interior is a priority because you spend real hours in this cab, this is the strongest HD interior execution available right now in this segment. If peak torque from a standing start under maximum load is your primary performance metric, and the Ram nameplate carries genuine personal history, the Longhorn makes a defensible argument. The Sierra 3500 Denali Ultimate doesn't win on every number. It wins on the number that matters most to the buyer who's been waiting for GM to close the interior gap. At the open, I said that panoramic display and full-width wood panel didn't belong in a heavy-duty pickup. Having walked the full picture, the dealer's survey origin, the dual-screen operational logic, and predictive grade system, they belong here more than anywhere else in the segment. This truck was built to win one specific argument. It won it. I genuinely love your perspective on this, especially if you've run a Ram 3500 or Sierra HD in serious towing service. Drop it below. And if you want to see this compared directly to the Ram 3500 Limited Longhorn in a full head-to-head, that video is right here. If this kind of real, no-nonsense automotive analysis is what you're looking for, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.